So, welcome. Tonight is the second portion of the English, and tonight we're going to do the practice test. So, last night, if you didn't join in, last night we did a content review. So, we did test prep, learned some um, fundamental skills, some tips and tricks on how to prepare for this section. And now we're going to take a look at a practice test. So what I've done with this section, this is our first one doing of this. So welcome you guys. Thanks for joining in. I'm so excited. So I hope that you find this to be very helpful. Now remember that we only have an hour, so we are going to get through as many questions as we possibly can. But if you find that, you want a little bit more practice with some of these practice questions, remember to check out our resources. And I'll take a pause in a little bit after we get going and, get to a good breaking point. But I'll show you our website. But just remember that we do have a great question bank, and that question bank has over 1,500 questions. So if you're looking for some more practice, you're definitely covered there. And the great thing about the question bank is that you're not left on your own. You have extra resources available to you. So not only do you get to know if you got your answer correct, but you get to find out why was that the correct answer, but also why were the other ones incorrect? How did we knock those out and eliminate those from being correct answers? And then in addition to that, there's a good majority of questions that come with an extra, I refer to it as like a little study guide sheet. So it'll help you walk through the fundamental skills that you need to refresh on to be able to answer that question. So make sure to check out our question bank. And if you find that as we're working tonight, you still need a little bit more of a walkthrough, make sure to check out our on-demand videos, because those give you oh, thanks. The Q Bank is amazing. Trying to get that SurePass combo. Yes. So if you are looking for a deal, the on-demand videos give you that walkthrough. There are notes in there with the on-demand video. And if you are looking for a um to get your bang for your buck, check out the SurePass or the SurePass Pro. The SurePass gets you a discounted bundle to the QBank with those questions and to the on-demand video with the notes. The SurePass Pro gets you the same access to the QBank and the on-demand videos, but it also gives you a discount on tutoring. So if you're interested in tutoring as well, then you get a little bit of a discount on that, and you're not having to pay the full price for tutoring. So you can book a session with me if you want to work on English, or if you want to work on reading, you can book one with me. You can book it with Brandon for math, Shelly for science. So you really can maximize your resources and still get a discount with that SurePass Pro. So make sure to check that out. And like I said, I'm going to take a pause later when we need to, take a little bit of a break, and I'll show you that website. But also make sure to check out the free live webinars. So like I said, tonight is the first practice test. So this is our first go with this. Next week, I'll be back with reading. So we'll do reading test prep the first night and then reading practice test the next night. So make sure to check out our schedule. Math and science are all up there as well. We have the rest of March scheduled out, and we've even got our April schedule. So make sure to check that out. If you want to rewatch any of the webinars, you can access those from this link right here. Anybody got any questions before we get started? Everybody feeling good? Everybody's super excited for some practice questions, right? All right. Ooh, my voice is trying to go out on me. It's been a day, let me tell you. All right, well, we're going to just jump right on in. So tonight we are taking a look at E2. So that is the second portion. Um, but this is the second portion of the English section. And this one, just to go back, this is focusing on knowledge of language. So what does that mean? Well, in that second section, there are 3 subcategories. And the first one is looking at improving clarity in writing using grammar. The second one is determining if language fulfills the needs of an audience for given rhetorical context. And then the last section we're going to practice on tonight is establishing a well-organized paragraph and what all that really means and what those questions look like. So 3 sections. We've got, unfortunately, we can't do, 15, 20 questions per section because this is just a quick overview practice test. But what we're going to do is we're going to hit a couple questions for each of these sections just to make sure that you can assess where are we doing really well, where do we maybe need to go back and focus a little bit more, okay? But what we're not going to do is we're not going to put ourselves down because tonight is a learning opportunity. So we are not taking this as a defeat, like, oh, I can't get these questions right. We're going to take this as, oh, this is what I'm doing well in, but this is where I need to go back and just do a little bit more practice, hone in on my skills, and then I'm going to conquer this. Okay, everyone? So again, we are not beating ourselves up. We are not being tough on ourselves. This is your first time probably looking at this, or maybe it's not, but you know what? We're still not going to beat ourselves up. We are going to take this for what it is, the learning opportunity. Everybody with me? All right, because I know I see some of your names. I know you sit there and you beat yourself up, and then you get in your head and you psych yourself out. You know who I'm talking to. So we're not going to do that. We're going to take a deep breath in. Ready, everyone? Deep breath out, and let's get started. So for this first section, improving clarity in writing using grammar. So remember, last night we took a look at, making sure that we had fragments, different things like that. So we're going to put all that together and we're going to look at some practice test questions. All right, so this is my first time doing this type of practice test, so this is a learning curve for me as well. I'm going to read the test questions to you. We're going to look at the answers, and then I'm going to give you guys just a couple quick seconds to make your selections, and then we're going to talk about what the correct answer is, okay? Now, if you find that me reading it is distracting, put that in the comment section because I really want some feedback tonight, you guys, okay? But just trying to keep it interactive. I'm going to try with the reading part right now, okay? Everybody good? All right. So make sure you use your comment section. Let me know how it's going. So for this first question, read the sentence below and answer the following question. Maria finishes her homework before she ate dinner. Which of the following grammar errors appears in this sentence? Is it A, sentence fragment, B, subject-verb agreement, C, tense agreement, or D, redundancy? Take a few minutes, think about, or not minutes, but take a few seconds, think about your answer. Oh, I see him coming in. Good. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look. So the correct answer, oh, redundancy. What does that mean? Redundancy means that well, with redundancy, you're looking at repetitiveness. So if there's like extra wordiness where you've pretty much said the same thing over again, that's what you're going to be looking at there. So if it's redundant, that would be that you're repeating yourself. And that means it's not needed. All right, so the correct answer is C, tense agreement. In this sentence, you can see Maria finishes. Finishes is in the present tense. Her homework before she ate. Ate is in the past tense. So we started off in present, but then we moved to past. We can't do that. Whatever we start with, we want to finish with as well. So make sure to check for that. So when you're looking at tense agreement, you're looking to see, did you stay in present? Nope, we moved to past. So there's a tense agreement error. All right. Now, sentence fragment, what that means, just to kind of give you this heads up before we move on. Sentence fragment means that we're looking to see, is this a complete sentence or not? Do we have a subject, a verb, and a complete thought? Maria is our subject. Finishes is our verb. What did she finish? Her homework. So we've got that complete before she ate dinner is also a dependent clause added on to the end of it. So we've got a complete sentence. Subject-verb agreement, that means that you're checking to see, does your subject, Maria, singular, agree with the verb, finishes, which is singular. Both of these are singular, so no subject-verb agreement error. Tense agreement, we've already talked about that. Redundancy, so, is there something that's not needed because it's usually typically repetitive, whatnot. That's what you're looking at there. Yes, great job, everybody. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Read the sentence below and answer the following. Well, I'm not going to keep reading that part. The teacher, along with her students, were excited for the field trip. So, which of the following grammar errors appears in this sentence? Is it A, a misplaced modifier? B, a subject-verb agreement? Is it C, incorrect pronoun case? Or is it D, a sentence fragment? All right, take a few seconds and put in your answers. Oh, somebody asked, so redundancy means repetitiveness. It can, but ultimately what you want to keep in mind, here's a tip for redundancy. So what that means is that what you're really looking for is there something in that sentence that's just really not necessary? You could have left it out. All right. All right, so A, misplaced modifier, B, subject verb agreement, C, incorrect pronoun case, or D, sentence fragment. Got a little bit of a debate going on in here. All right, let's take a look. So for this one, it's actually going to be a B, subject verb agreement. The reason being is that for this sentence, we would omit along with her students. You see how it's inside of commas right there? So when you see a phrase or a clause that is inside of commas like that, that's kind of a little bit of a signal saying, hey, you don't really have to have this in a sentence. We could take this out and the sentence still makes sense. So when you see a phrase or clause that's offset by commas, just like this one is here, take that out. Pretend like you're marking through it with your pencil and you're going to just pretend like it doesn't exist. So then we would read the sentence as the teacher were excited for the field trip. Okay. Now, with subject verb agreement errors, what that means is that what is the subject of that sentence? Can anyone tell me? What's the subject? The teacher were excited for the field trip. What's the subject of that? Remember, we're not paying attention to anything inside those commas right there. The teacher. Good. Yes. Don't put a question mark. Don't doubt yourself, okay? So, teacher, that's our subject. So teacher, is that singular or plural? Well, it's teacher, singular. So then what we do is we find our verb. Well, our verb is were. Okay, we're excited. So were is our verb, but were is a plural form of the verb. Now, if you forget if a verb, because verbs can be tricky, okay, make sure you go back and check out the on-demand video if you really need some help with the subject-verb agreement, because verbs can be very tricky to determine if they're singular or plural, because most of the time we just don't think about them as being singular or plural. But here's a little tip for you. Would you say he were, or would you say they were? You would say they were. That shows you that they is plural, so were is plural. That is a trick that I use if, my brain is just having a moment and I really need to check it really quickly. So were is plural. So we can't have singular teacher with plural were because that creates an imbalance and that's a subject verb agreement error. They do not agree with each other. You have a singular with a plural and that's a no-no. So we can't do that. So that's why in this sentence, it's a subject verb agreement. What they're hoping is with this question, what we're hoping is that you're going to see students and think, oh, it's plural, where is plural? But you got to remember that if you see something inside of commas like this, or just a little tip, if you see something that is inside of, if you see a prepositional phrase, mark that thing out too and pretend like it doesn't exist because your subject will not be in your prepositional phrase. So make sure that you're very careful. You can find your subject, you can find your verb. That's what we're looking for with these types of questions if we're looking for subject verb agreement. All right? Any questions on that one? Everybody good? SVA. So subject verb agreement. So that's what we were just talking about. So subject and your verb, if your subject is singular and your verb is singular, then they agree with each other. If your subject is singular but your verb is plural, they don't agree. So that's an agreement error. So we got to make sure we have singular with singular, plural with plural. Why doesn't it match with students? Because you would say students is plural and this is plural, so why don't they match? Is that what you're saying? Right, because it's inside of this a positive right here. See that? When it's inside of those commas like that, you pretend like it doesn't exist because it's not actually part of the main clause. This is just an extra phrase that was inserted into the clause, the independent clause. Okay. All right. So, in one day discuss. Well, we did talk about these a little bit yesterday. So, just make sure. All right. So, subject verb agreement. There we go. All right, let's take a look at this one. She barely studied for the test. Nevertheless, she did well. What would our answer be? A, run-on sentence. B, tense agreement. C, incorrect parallel structure. Or D, sentence fragment. What you think? All right, let's get our answers. This one is going to be A. It's a run-on sentence because she barely studied for the test is a complete, it's an independent clause. She did well, independent clause. We need to have a semicolon there for it to not be a run-on. So, it needs to be a semicolon or a period. So that one's a run-on technically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's take a look. So we can keep on track. What about this one? This is one of these, I call them the open-ended questions. Which of the following sentences is grammatically correct? So see how that's kind of like open. Now we've got to take all of the things we talked about last night and we've got to think about all of that and apply it to each of these sentences. So what I recommend is as you're reading through these, think about what's my subject, what's my verb, where's my verb tense, do a little checklist in your head. So would it be A, the team of researchers were excited about their new discovery? B, she drives real careful when it's raining outside. C, neither of the books is available at the local library. Or D, the committee members debates the new policy every Monday. Okay, take a second, think about your answer. So we're looking for the one that is grammatically correct. All right. I see our answers coming in. All right, let's take a look. Really quickly though, somebody asked what's a run-on sentence. Remember, that's where you run two clauses together. Make sure to go back and check that playback from last night when we talked about those. All right, so this one was C. Neither of the books is available at the local library. Neither is singular. Is singular. So you have a subject verb agreement. They agree, singular with singular. So that's grammatically correct. A would not be correct because what you got to look for is, remember I just told you, of researchers is a prepositional phrase. You pretend to mark that through, okay? It does not exist. The team were excited. Would you say the team were excited? No. It's one team, so singular, and they put were, well I put were. I put were, and that's plural, so I can't have singular with plural. It should be the team was excited. B. Now, if you didn't even hear it, I actually told you what was wrong with this one because I couldn't even stop myself from saying it correctly. And that's a tip. Make sure to say these words. Make sure to say these out loud if you can. If you're testing in an environment when you can't, pretend like you're saying it out loud. Because I'm going to tell you what, that will help you sometimes. But she drives real careful. No, she drives really carefully. This is a word choice error when it's raining outside. So real should be really. It should be the adverb form. D is not correct because the committee members is plural. The committee members. Debates is singular. A lot of people think, oh, well, it's got an S on the end of it. That means it's plural. No, remember with verbs, we talked about this. Verbs are singular if they have an S on the end of them, if it's those regular verbs. So you have plural members with singular debates. You can't do that. That's a subject verb agreement error. So singular and plural and singular cannot be together like that. So, all right. Any questions on that now that we walked through it? I know we are rolling tonight. Committee is singular, yes, but it's being used as an adjective to describe what type of members they are. So it's not your subject. It's just an adjective describing members. Members is the actual subject that you have to focus in on. Like a team of researchers. Yes, you would think team would be plural because it says of researchers, but remember, yeah, I'm telling you, if you are not good at, if it's been a while since you've identified prepositional phrases, that is something I would definitely go back and study on. I'm gonna tell you what, I used to hate prepositional phrases, but being able to identify them and eliminate them from your sentences will be a lifesaver when you are trying to check for the subject verb agreements. No, A is not correct because team is singular, were is plural, so you can't have a singular and a plural because it's one team. So that's why A is incorrect. Yep, be careful when you're reading these. Don't underestimate those prepositional phrases. All right? Prepositional phrases describe the subject. No, they're just extra information. They can be anywhere in the sentence. They don't necessarily have to be attached to the subject. You could have it at the end of the sentence. Hold on. Let's see, did I have one up here? About their new discovery. That's a prepositional phrase, but that's not really describing the subject. Prepositional phrases can be anywhere. They add extra description to the sentence. So if you say I'm going to the store just tells me where you're going. And it's giving me that extra information about the verb. Yep. All right, so for the sake of time, let's look at the next one. Which of the following is grammatically correct? The bouquet of flowers make the room look beautiful. He performed good on the final exam. The students who completed the project receive extra credit. D, every one of the athletes are required to attend practice. What would you say? Which one is grammatically correct? Anybody? Nope, there we go. There you go. Due process of elimination. Yep. All right, let's take a look at our correct answer. So with this one, it would be C. The students who completed the project receive extra credit. So C. The reason A would be incorrect is because of flowers is a prepositional phrase. Say, throw that one out. The bouquet make the room. No, bouquet is singular. Make is plural. We can't do that. So the bouquet makes the room look beautiful would have been correct. So remember, told you, them prepositional phrases are aggravating. Go ahead and get rid of them. He performed good on the final exam. How did he perform? He performed well. That's a word choice one. So it should have been well instead of good since you're describing performed. And then every one is one singular or plural? That's singular. Of the athletes is another prepositional phrase. So cut that one from the team. So every one are required to attend practice? No, no, no. Can't have singular one with a plural are. So that one's a subject verb agreement error as well. So that's why C is correct. The students, plural, receive, plural. The students who completed the project received. Oh, that's a typo. I'm sorry. That was supposed to be received. I'm so sorry. I was a little excited to write that out. That was amazing. Thank you. All right. Oh, well, then that was me. Blame me for that one. Huh. Which of the following sentences is grammatically correct? A, the professor, along with her students, are presenting at the conference. B, she sings beautiful in the school choir. Anyone who wants to join the club is welcome to sign up. The group of musicians were excited about their performance. What's going on here? Mm-hmm. Good so far. Yes, of is a prepositional phrase. Or of is the start of a prepositional phrase. It's a preposition. All right. Any other thoughts on the answers? We got some C's, we got some B's. Let's take a look. So this one would be C again. Anyone who wants to join the club is welcome to sign up. So this one would be anyone, singular, is singular. Who wants to join the club, that's separate. We stayed in the same verb tense, wants and welcome. A would be incorrect because the professor, singular. Remember, we marked through that phrase right there. Are is plural. So singular professor, plural are. You can't do that. She sings what? She sings beautifully. That should be beautifully. That's a word choice error. D, the group of musicians. Mark that of musicians out. And it's group, singular, were, plural. So can't do that one either. B, because it is beautiful is describing what? How she sings. And sings is a verb. So we can't use the adjective beautiful. We have to use the adverb beautifully. She sings beautiful. She sings beautifully. Anyone? Not technically. Actually, who goes with wants, and anyone goes with is. But anyone is singular. Who is singular. Wants is singular. And is singular. So they all match, actually. It's just that who and wants and then anyone and is go together. Yep. All right, everybody hanging in there? All right. So, before we move into the last two sections, let's take a pause. And I just want to take a second to show you our website that I was talking about earlier. From here, if you haven't seen it before, you can actually scroll down and you can see access our QBank, the on-demand videos. There's the list of upcoming webinars, and you can sign up for them there. And then there's our two discounted bundles where you can access SurePass. That gets you QBank and on-demand videos. SurePass Pro gets you both the QBank, the on-demand videos, and it gets you tutoring as well. And then you can always go to our, let's see, why am I blanking out? Video lectures. Oh, there's the video lectures. But you can actually go up here, go to T7, and you can access our tutoring from there as well, but you can go through the SurePass Pro link for that. Yep. All right, so just take a second to show you that, and let's get back to our practice. So for the second section, we're determining if language fulfills the need for the audience for a given rhetorical context. So for this section, remember we talked about informal, formal, some other tips and tricks with the narrator, things like that. So make sure you're pulling all of that together. How many tutoring sessions does it give? I think after you book your first one, I think it just gives you a discount. Let me check on that. Email pre-nursing at Archer Review and ask Brandon. Um, because my mind is drawing a blank. I should know that, but I cannot remember it for the life of me right this second. So sorry. I failed as being a salesperson. But so I can't remember how many it gets you. All right, so let's take a look at this one. Read the sentence below, answer the following questions. So success is not determined by how many times how many times you fall, but by how many times you get back up and keep moving forward. Which of the following publications would most likely contain this sentence? Would it be A, a medical textbook, B, motivational speech, C, instruction manual, or D, a news article? All right, looks like everybody was answering. So this one would be B, the motivational speech. So we see words like success, fall, get back up. We're motivating people. So that would be the motivational speech. All right, good. All right, let's take a look at this one. To maximize efficiency in the workplace, employees should focus on time management strategies such as prioritizing tasks and minimizing distractions. Would you say which of the following publications would most likely contain this sentence? Would it be A, a business magazine, B, a poetry anthology, C, a science fiction novel, or D, a historical biography? Yep. That one would be a business magazine. Good. What about this one? In an experiment conducted last year, researchers found that exposure to natural light throughout the day can improve cognitive performance and overall well being. Would that be a motivational speech, B, a science journal, C, an adventure novel, or D, a personal blog? All right, this one would be B, a science journal. Experiment, exposure, cognitive performance, all science related terms. Good. All right, so that's actually 2.2 in a nutshell. You guys did really well with those. I'm gonna try to make those harder next time. But make sure to check out QBank because I got lots of doozies and tricks in there as well. 2.3, that's our last section for the night. It looks like we're good on time, so let's take a look. Establishing a well-organized paragraph. So remember, we're thinking about the parts of a paragraph. How do they flow together? What do we use to put them together? So which of the following examples would most likely act as a transition sentence? Would it be A, many studies show that getting enough sleep each night is essential for maintaining cognitive function and overall well being? B, sleep deprivation has been linked to an increased risk of various health issues, including heart disease, obesity, and weakened immune function. C, additionally, developing healthy sleep habits, such as maintaining a consistent bedtime and reducing screen time before bed, can help improve sleep quality and overall health. Or D, poor sleep can negatively impact mood, concentration, and productivity, making it difficult to perform daily tasks effectively. So, which one of those would show transition? Yes, C. It's got that transition word right there at the beginning. So, additionally means that we're adding to the previous thought. Yep, C includes that transition. All right. What about this one? Which of the following would most likely act as a transition sentence? A, eating a balanced diet with plenty of fruits and vegetables is essential for maintaining good health and preventing chronic diseases. B, moreover, incorporating regular physical activity into daily routines can further enhance overall health by improving cardiovascular function and reducing the risk of obesity. C, many people struggle to adopt healthier eating habits due to busy schedules, limiting access to fresh produce, and a preference for convenience foods. D, processed foods often contain high levels of added sugars, unhealthy fats, and artificial preservatives, which can contribute to long-term health problems. What would that one be? All right, let's take a look then. This one would be B. It's got moreover as our transition sentence. Now, with the previous one having additionally at the beginning of the sentence and this one having moreover at the beginning of the sentence, yes, you've got transition words at the beginning of these sentences. That's not always a fail-safe. They might be in the middle of sentences sometimes too. So don't just fall back and think, oh, it's always going to have to be at the beginning of a sentence. Could be right smack dab in the middle of a sentence as well. So just be mindful of that. All right, so any questions on that one? Why not D? Processed foods often contain high levels of added sugars, unhealthy fats, and artificial preservatives, which can contribute to long-term health problems. Well, looking at all these sentences, this one is presenting information, but it's not showing that transition by using those transition words. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Which one of these would serve as a transition sentence? A. Renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind power. No, which is not a transition word. Renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind power, provide sustainable alternatives to fossil fuels and help reduce carbon emissions. B. As concerns about climate change continue to grow, many governments and businesses are investing in clean energy solutions to create a more sustainable future. C. Fossil fuels, including coal and natural gas, have been the primary sources of energy for decades, but the environmental impact has raised concerns about long-term sustainability. D. The burning of fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, which contributes to global warming and climate change. All right, let's take a look. That one would be B. So this is when I prepared you for it a second ago and told you it's not always going to be like just one word at the beginning, like moreover and additionally, where the other sentences. So this one is serving as a transition because it's connecting that discussion of climate change concerns with the shift towards clean energy solutions. Okay. So it's linking that climate change problem with a potential solution. So as concerns about climate change continue to grow, so we're moving, so this means that it's coming after a sentence where we were talking about climate change. We're talking about as they still continue to grow, what's a potential solution? Many governments and businesses are investing in clean energy. But, or fanboys, those are not transition words, those are conjunctions. So C is supporting fossil fuels, including. Yeah, that one could be, yeah, it would be a supporting. Now remember, transitions can be in topic sentences, because then if they're topic sentences, they're at the beginning of typically at the beginning of your body paragraphs. So those can be used to show movement from one paragraph to the next. So they can be at the beginning of a sentence. So be careful of that. It doesn't always have to be that a transition word is only with a supporting detail sentence, or it's only with a main idea sentence, or it's only with a topic or key point sentence. So they can be anywhere. Transitions can be used anywhere in the writing. But what you're looking for with these types of questions is to see where is there a relationship, a connection being bridged between ideas. No. Mm-mm. You don't necessarily always look for the one that includes the potential topic. What I mean is that I was just saying that with these types of sentences, you're not looking for a particular type. So we're not looking for a topic sentence. We're not looking for a supporting detail sentence. We're not looking for a particular type. We're looking for any sentence that creates that relationship and illustrates that relationship. Yes, fanboys are conjunction words for compound sentences. Yes. Yes, shifting the idea is how you use a transition in a sentence. That's right. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Now, this one we're looking at reordering. This would be, you know me, looking for patterns. Oh, yes. Yeah, with this one though, you can't do the patterns. Sorry. But you're looking for connections. You're looking at how is it moving, where is it showing that there's a movement from one idea to the next? That's what you're looking for there. Now, with these sentences, or these questions, excuse me, you're reordering the sentences below. These would be like those drag and drops, because you know how it's got fancy now. Ooh, fancy, fancy. So this one I want you to take, and I want you to tell me what order. Now, I don't have the drag and drop feature for you, obviously, so I gave you A, B, C, D options. I want you to tell me what order would you put these sentences in for them to create a well-established with solid fluidity. Which of these would work? Okay. I'm going to let you take a second with these because it's easier if you read them and put them together. Okay. All right. Looks like everybody's getting their answers in. Let's take a look. So this one would have been A. It really should have read, first, the chef gathered fresh ingredients from the market. After preparing all the ingredients, the chef began cooking the meal. The chef carefully plated the dish, adding garnishes for a final touch. Finally, the dish was served to the eager customers at the restaurant. So this shows it going from the market, being prepared, to being served. All right, take a look at this one. What order would you put this one in? All right. Chronological means time order. Yes. Sequential means that's more of like process order. Okay. Let's look at this one then. It would be A again. If you thought, oh, well, that can't be right because that's a false sense of security. No, that was a trick. So this one, first, the students brainstormed the ideas for their essay. They conducted research to gather reliable sources. The student revised their draft, making improvements based on feedback. Finally, they submitted the final paper before the deadline. So A. Good. All right. Now, if you missed those, make sure you go back and take a look at our on-demands and touch up on your transitions because those will really help you there. Well, you guys, at least we made it. Met our time. We got through some practice. If you're looking for some more in-depth, you want to even maybe find some harder questions because I got some even harder ones up there in the Q bank. Make sure to check out our resources. Check out that SurePass or SurePass Pro if you want to get that discount. If you're looking for the next few webinars, make sure to tune in next week. I'll be back with reading. Brandon and Shelly have their science, and Morgan has joined us. They have their science and math videos and webinars planned and scheduled, so make sure to check out those. Remember, first night, we're going to do test prep. So we'll talk about the concepts, understanding what you're looking for as far as how to prepare to answer those questions. And then for the second night, we'll do like we did tonight. Yes, you can sign up now. You can go right to our website and sign up for those. Oh, good. Well, thank you. All right. So anybody got any questions before we head out? Make sure check out our Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. If you need anything, I know someone had a question about how many sessions you get. Take a screenshot of this really quick right here. That's our pre-nursing at Archer Review email. Email him, send him a quick email really quickly, and he could probably get back to you tonight. He's really good about that. All right. And then there's some information on our SurePass Pro, but that's really tiny. I need to zoom in. So next time I'll make that bigger. And then if you are interested in tutoring, I'm going to leave this up for just a quick second so you can screenshot this. And then actually, if you didn't know this, if you have an iPhone at least, you can screenshot and then you can go within that photo and then you can click on this from here. So if you're on your phone or if you have your phone handy, take a quick picture of this and then you can click on that to go to our tutoring. And I will tell you that at least for my schedule, if you don't see a time that's up there, please feel free to email pre-nursing at Archer Review and ask him if he can get in touch with me. And I'm always happy to try to help accommodate schedules. So I'll try to see what I can make work. All right. And then last but not least, if you want to give some feedback on tonight's webinar, feel free to do that. Thank you guys so much for joining in tonight. I think that this went pretty well for our first test prep. Next week, we'll be back with reading, so I'll have some good, solid, big paragraph in the practice. So the practice for the reading next week, is that what you're talking about? Was that what you meant, next week's reading? If so, yes, that's what I'm working on. Yeah. It's going to be kind of tricky with having such a small screen to work with, and small space to work with, but I'm going to try to get it done. All right then. Well, if there are no other questions, we'll go ahead and call it a night, wrap it up, and I hope I see you guys again next week. All right, then. Well, I'm going to go ahead and log us off. You guys have a great rest of the week. Email us at pre-nursing at Archer Review if you have any questions whatsoever. Don't hesitate to ask. Let us know. All right. Well, I'll see y'all next week for test prep and then the practice test. Have a great weekend.